you tell me who you are?
Yes, I'm Nick Booth from Podnosh.
And you're at the Birmingham NHS Citizen Design Workshop, as
That's
we're calling
right.
it.
Yeah.
You've listened to an hour or so, I guess?
Yeah.
What are your takes so far?
Well, one thought immediately is when people are trying to understand what NHS Citizen is, and I think all of us find this challenging, is not necessarily to think of it as a thing, in the sense that, say, Health Watch, which has got bodies all over the country, and there's a big Health Watch in London, is a thing. This is much more of a process. So it's trying to understand that there's two things that need to happen here. One is that those with the power to make decisions and change things need to learn how to listen, and those who want to express themselves need to get used to ways of expressing themselves. And in between, there'll be a way of connecting them up. But that in between doesn't necessarily need to be a thing either. The best analogy I can come up with, or the best comparison I can come up with, is it's a bit like the internet. There isn't a head of the internet, and yet we've learned to use it and trust it and shape it to do what we want it to do. And there's an extent to which NHS Citizen is a little bit like that.
Are there things that NHS Citizen itself, if I can pretend that it's an organisation just for a moment, could do to make that more obvious to people, do you think?
Model it more. Actually do small experiments. The more small experiments you can do that takes it away from current structures and starts to play with other structures, you can show people things, and you can show that this group of people in rural Shropshire who had a series of cups of coffee together were able to share what they were thinking in a way that those in the clinical commissioning group were able to pick up and do something with. But you need to model it and show it, I think.
And what about that concept of NHS citizens that's been brought up a couple of times, that a concept of people being NHS citizens? How would that work for you?
I'm quite comfortable with the idea of people being citizens. I don't think many people would think of themselves as an NHS citizen, and the issue was raised that we use health and social care services to suit us, not we don't relate to them as organisations in a sense. We relate to what we need. So it's a slightly clumsy idea, but in the end, if we can get people to if people feel that it's worth the effort to talk about how they want services, get services, receive services, or even want to create services, then it is up to those who manipulate the budgets to learn to listen to that and separate out the things they can influence and the things they can't, and be straight about that.
Thank you very much.